What's up guys, Cornelius Franklin here, and look at that view. That is amazing. Anyway, on today's video we're going to be talking about sound design. Now, sound design is probably one of my favourite things to do with filmmaking, so let's get straight into the video. So what is sound design? Sound design is quite simply the design of the sound in your videos. So there are so many different layers of sound design that we could talk about. So there's things like the actual talking, which is being recorded by a microphone up here, and also there's kind of the ambience, the background noise, the sort of buzzing, sort of hum of, I don't know, a dishwasher or something. Or there's sound effects, such as some kind of whooshes and such. Or lightsabers. No, we're not doing any of that. It's okay. And of course, lastly, there's music, and music is a massive part of sound design. I did a video solely dedicated to music. You can find a link to it up here somewhere. Anyway, so we're going to be talking today more about the actual kind of building the ambience, the background sound, and also kind of some sound effects and that sort of thing. So let's just start off by having a look at this clip here. Now in this clip you can see and tell that there is no sound. Now that's not just because I've cut the sound off, it was actually shot at 120 frames per second. And when you record at 120 frames per second, the sound kind of disappears and you don't have it anymore. It doesn't record anything, basically. So what I tend to do is I look through the actual clip and then kind of build my sound effects and design upon what I can see that should be making a noise. So if we look at this shot, you can see that the sea is crashing through the cliff. So there should be the sound of kind of the seas roaring through cliffs and onto the beach. Also, there could be the sound of some wind. It is kind of a windy day. So what we need to do is go and find some sound effects for those things. So there are a couple of different ways of doing this. Number one, and what I tend to do, is I actually go to a website called Epidemic Sound. That's where I get all my music from. You can find a link to Epidemic Sound down below. And in here I'd look up something like sea or coast or waves or something like that, and then I would go and listen through a bunch and find one that kind of matches what I'm wanting to do. The second method is I actually record the sounds as well on the Zoom H4n. Now I don't tend to use this so much because I don't carry this around with me all the time, but I do have a microphone on top of the camera, the Rode Video Mic Pro. So what I often will do is I'll just record for a few moments at normal speed, which actually records sound as well, so that you have that kind of ambient sound there. Now, I don't have to, every single time that I'm making a video, have to go back to Epidemic Sound and re-download stuff, because I have actually built a file of sound effects and ambient sounds upon my computer. So we can go to that and start from there. So again, back to the shot, we have the sound of the waves crashing on to the beach. So we're going to add that sound in there. Now you can tell something seems a little bit off, and that is because the waves are moving in slow motion and the sound is moving at normal speed. So we need to start off by actually slowing that sound down. Now I tend to say that sound can't be slowed down any more than 50%. Once you get beyond there, it kind of goes a bit of a mess, except when we come to whooshes for like whip hand transitions or speed ramping, where actually I tend to go with 40% slowed down for when you're speeding up. I'll get to that later. Now we're going to just go and add in the sound of the wind, and it's sounding more like this. So first of all, it had no sound, now it has this sound here, and it sounds 10, 20, 30, 50 times better. So let's go to another example. This example, it's raining outside and we're inside a car. So what sort of sound effects are we going to need? So we're going to need rain, but a particular kind of rain, rain from inside a car. We're going to drag this in, but also we have the sound of a windscreen wiper because the windscreen wipers are moving. So we're going to add one of those in as well, and now it sounds like this. So let's take a look at some of these sequences before and after sound design. The thing is with sound design, when it's done well, you shouldn't even notice it. That's one of the joys and sad things about it, is you can put so much time and effort into it, and then somebody would be like, why did that take an extra 3-4 hours to get that over what it was previously? And they won't even notice it, but they do kind of notice it subconsciously. And without it, you will definitely notice it. And if it's done badly, it's terrible. Okay, so you need to really think about it. And what I tend to do is I actually keep the sound effects at quite a low level. The thing with this is that sound effects to your actual ears, they aren't crazy loud because your ears are actually tuned to listen to the human voice. That is what they're designed to do. That is what they need to listen to, so that is the important thing that they listen out for. Just in case you're being asked to do something so that you can forget to do it. And sound effects kind of get filtered down and you don't tend to listen out for them so much. So you want to keep those levels set quite low. Hope you guys liked this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. And if you've got any questions about filmmaking, photography, cinematography, that sort of thing, drop a comment down below. And I'll see you guys next Monday.